Welcome to the School of the Lost Tribes. Your charity helps generate the lessons needed to seal the chosen before the destruction. Welcome to Israelites Doctrine for Dummies. Before we dive into Romans 11, let's clear up one of the biggest lies in modern Christianity, the identity of the Gentiles. You've probably been taught that Gentiles means all non-Israelites, white people, Asians, Arabs, Africans, and anyone not from the Judean seed line. But that's not what Paul meant. That's not what the Bible teaches. The word Gentiles in the New Testament often comes from the Greek word ethnos, which simply means nations or peoples. It doesn't automatically mean non-Israelite. So who were the Gentiles Paul was talking to? In the context of Romans 11 and many other places, they were Israelites. Yes, Israelites. Specifically, the scattered tribes of the northern kingdom who had been divorced by God, lost their identity, and were living among the other nations. They spoke foreign languages, followed foreign customs, and looked like Gentiles. But by blood and seed line, they were the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Now here's why most people can't see this. They're still reading the Bible through the lens of replacement theology. Replacement theology, also known as supersessionism, is a Christian concept that wrongly teaches the church has replaced the nation of Israel as God's chosen people and the primary heir of his promises. It claims God set Israel aside because they didn't accept Christ, and that now everybody can be saved equally. But that's a lie. This doctrine twists the Bible to make it sound like a universal message, when in truth, it's about the restoration of Yahweh's chosen people, Israel. You also can't grasp the truth if your thinking is still trapped in colonized theology, where everything labeled Judean or Jewish is sacred, and the word Gentile is just a free-for-all. But Yahweh is not confused. He doesn't give his blessings to just anybody. He doesn't hand the kingdom over to heathens. The covenants, the promises, the adoption, the glory, all of it was given to Israel, and only Israel, Romans 9:4. So when Paul says salvation has come to the Gentiles, he's not talking about the other nations replacing Israel. He's talking about Israel being restored, those broken, scattered branches being grafted back into their own olive tree. But you can't see that truth if your mind is still locked in replacement theology. A dummy's breakdown of Romans 11:1-29, verse by verse. Romans 11:1. I say then, hath God cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. Paul opens with a bold question. Has God thrown away his people, the Israelites? He answers immediately, absolutely not. And he makes it personal. Paul says, look, I'm an Israelite myself, from the tribe of Benjamin. If God had rejected Israel, Paul wouldn't even be in the truth. Romans 11:2. God hath not cast away his people which he foreknew. Wot ye not what the Scripture saith of Elias, how he maketh intercession to God against Israel, saying, God never abandoned the people he foreknew, that is, the 12 tribes descended from Jacob, his chosen. Paul reminds us of Elijah, Elias, who once cried out to God against Israel. Romans 11:3. Lord, they have killed thy prophets, and digged down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life. Elijah thought he was the only faithful one left. He was surrounded by rebellion, just like many awakened Israelites feel today. Romans 11:4. But what saith the answer of God unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men, who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. God's response? He always has a remnant. There were 7,000 who stayed faithful. They didn't bow to idols. Just like then, today there are Israelites waking up and not bowing to false doctrines or fake religions. Romans 11:5. Even so, then at this present time, also there is a remnant according to the election of grace. Paul makes it clear, there is still a faithful remnant of Israel, chosen by grace, not because they were perfect, but because God promised their fathers. Romans 11:6. And if by grace, then is it no more of works. Otherwise grace is no more grace. But if it be of works, then is it no more grace? This remnant wasn't chosen because they did everything right. It's grace. God keeping his promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.